Hey, welcome back to Three B's on a Mission. We're three women speaking our unfiltered truths and divine feminine wisdom, short grounding. You got a mantra or affirmation
in your hand?
No, you, not me. You can't read mine.
I love it. I thought that's the one you wanted me.
No, that's, here.
Or
You
I
want,
thought that was the one. That's not
here.
grounding.
Guys,
you
it's
can have-
these
amazing
ones are
that you're
different
starting
ones.
out by arguing over affirmation.
We have so many over here.
Here's a
So
good
much.
grounding one.
There's one.
Okay.
I trust that I am supported and held by the universe.
You are. Also, I am the universe. So you're held by me.
Thank you.
Hey, girl. Go ahead.
Okay, G. Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't have cards like you guys. I'm not fancy like that. Mine
I'm sorry,
is,
you can't be fancy like us.
my affirmation that I'm holding this week is I am a vessel of creativity, allowing my ideas and expressions to flow effortlessly.
All right, I feel that. Mine, because the card says it is nothing can throw me off
it.
balance without my consent.
Love
So
it.
that actually does work for me, especially this week. Amen and whatnot. All right, so quick vibe check. Like, where's your energy at?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you. That'd be you. I know you can't tell with my glasses, right? Who I'm talking to.
Yeah, it's
But
hard.
I would look at Miss if it was.
So mine's going to be a little strange this week. My energy is emotional this week, and I'll tell you why. But this week marks my daughter's 12th birthday, and this week, when it comes around every year, is very emotional for me because it represents the greatest gift that I've ever received with my daughter. But it also reminds me of the most absolute devastation that I went through all in 1 week, right? And I know you both know this. So unfortunately, you can't, even though I'm very healed from this, when something cuts you that deep in life, like, you just are always going to have a scar and you're always going to have a remembrance of that happening. And I can't separate it. But what I wanted to recognize both of you in this public forum is that time for me where it should have been the greatest time of my life. It was not. It was not. And it's humbling to say that as a mom because I expected that it was going to be incredible. And it was because I had this beautiful little baby, but I mean, you guys remember, I could barely even get myself up every day. Because even though I had this baby, I had a partner that within 3 days of my daughter being born, abandoned me, rejected me, and left me in isolation. So I became a single mom immediately. My body, my mind, my spirit, my heart was broken. And yet I had to get up every day and rise for this little nugget. And I didn't have it in me. So what you two represented to me in that time, I know you guys showed up for me in every way that, somebody could. Tali, you came day and night, to make sure that Livy and I were good. And I know that was a lot for you because you were probably exhausted after long days yourself.
Not for people I love.
Yep. And I remember I was struggling because I thought I have to breastfeed my baby because that's what they drill into your head. It's that was what I was supposed to do to take care of her. And I remember you making that awful, whatever that awful mother's milk tea was every day and night, trying to get.
Horrible.
It was the worst.
You poor.
It was the worst.
I think that was due to Carrie's suggestion.
It was.
I'm
It was
pretty
a
sure
beautiful
it was Carrie's suggestion.
Honestly, it was a beautiful suggestion, and it was
smelled horrible.
it was awful. And I remember you'd come in, you'd make that stuff. I'd drink it. You'd take Liv for a little bit so that I could even just go take a shower, which was nice for me. But and then I had no idea. I wasn't expecting to have to do any of this on my own. I remember G, you showed up, and I remember you gave Livy her first bath. I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know how to do any of this. And you had already had all of your children. So you were like, okay, here's what we're going to do. This is, you do this, and then Livy needs a bath, and here's how we're going to do this. And I just remember like, I mean, it's hard enough when you have a baby and everything's out of whack and you're trying to heal, and then you
Mhm.
have this horrible devastation on top of it. And I, I mean, you guys single-handedly, like, you saved my life during that time.
It's all good. It's all good. You gotta let them emotions flow, man.
Yeah, and
Also, I mean, it's true me style though, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I came with the, all right, I thrive in the darkness, so come on,
Mhm.
pick up the crumbs, let's go, girl. We got shit to do. And that's when we started boxing, actually. That's
Yep, I remember.
True.
And I also remember too that so all of this came about after we had gotten home with the baby. This was not the plan, and then, you know, my ex made the decision that she did. And I remember when I told both of you what was actually happening. I remember that you both, like, I don't even know how you got to my house so fast, but you both came to the house like immediately fast. And
you were upstairs, I was down
Girl,
there.
you were like,
You
I
that's
need the
it.
was
book, you need the
wait,
book.
what was it? Hijack?
Yeah.
Hi what hi I hijacked or or I
Hostage.
was hostage. I was hostage. I was
Yeah, you
hostage
have,
negotiator. No,
yeah, you were
actually,
hostage.
Bridget was.
Yeah.
That day,
No,
Bridget was the hostage negotiator.
so but here's what happened. I did not have the strength
Yeah,
within me,
ruse.
and obviously at that time I didn't value myself enough to draw a line. But that's what you two showed up and did on my behalf. And you were like,
No,
enough's enough.
I
This
literally
is
just
it.
put you behind me. That was not a thing.
Yeah. I mean, but you
Literally, I
guys,
physically moved you behind me. Like, no, you know what? I got this. Like, you're gonna get
yeah.
back here, and I got you. Like always,
Yeah.
you know that.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys literally became my tower moment. Like, you came in and were like, "That's it. This is it. We're shutting the door. There's no more. This is done. This is finished.
No
End of
more.
story. We'll figure it out from here, but end of story. This is done." And
Hmm.
so, I can't remember that whole time without thinking about those things. And, it was like one day at a time, trying to just make it through the day and learn to be a mom. And, it was literally one of the hardest times of my entire life. But, now fast forward 12 years later, baby is an incredible little girl. We made it out and now we're doing this. Who would have thought, any of that?
She's one of the
But
coolest chicks.
so I don't know, it's unfortunate. Like every year that this comes around, I will hope every year that I don't have this kind of duality of emotion, but I just have learned to accept it now. Like, I mean, 12 years in, like, now it's not like I walk around and I have this like horrible heartbreak anymore. That was years before. Like, I don't have that anymore. It's more just like a remembrance, and it's a acknowledgement of like how incredibly horrible that situation was, but also that I I did make it through, but it was really because of you guys helping me during that time. So that's my vibe check today.
Vibes. I don't think
That
we
was
can
a
freaking
lot.
top that. Like mine is just like
Mine is
literally.
just all right. Let's go.
Mine is literally just like trying to ground myself, like literally ground myself. Things that are being all the my gifts that are being unlocked.
Oh,
And
yes.
I need literally literal grounding. So that's my vibe check this week. And this one is my
Yeah.
All
unicorn, and
right.
she is grounding me.
That is
Like,
all right.
Yeah, but I think
and
you should share your story about how you've come across one of your gift awakenings this week, because I think it's hilarious, honestly.
okay. All right. So I will fine. Again, this one is one of my we will say so when you said it, Wendy, when we talked about it, you said, Dominica is one of my protectors. And not that we all know I don't need protection, but I think what that translates into is the protection of my energy so it doesn't explode. Because
Yeah.
that gets really, really bad. We all have seen how bad that gets. Miss, obviously, my protection is Dominica. So I was with Dominica. I haven't seen her in, oh my God, it's probably been almost a year. And we were just kind of talking about all the things, all the happenings in life, and really going over this journey, where it's taken me, what's happening in life now, what's been happening for the last year, all of those things. And she just basically was like, I get it. She said, but you still need to be able to get away. So once a week, I want you to come here and work from here. And just so you have time to heal yourself, because you're always caring for everybody else and your energy's all over the place. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we made a solid plan and we hugged on it, and, I'm leaving and I walk off the porch, and as soon as I step off the porch, a crow comes, and like I see it and it's coming for my face. So I duck because it's coming for my face. And as I duck, two more swoop down and they're literally bouncing off my head, like
Dive bombing.
I
bombing.
love
So
this.
because I only get the like synchronicities, the numbers, I get all these like, here, universe is trying to tell me something, but it's like this puzzle I got to figure out, and it takes me 3 years to figure it out. So I call the God translator. You're like Google Translate, but you
Yeah.
were just, "Oh, hi, I woke up and I'm a Google translator. Like I'm the God GPS. I don't know. You hear all the things, and they actually speak to you in English. So that's cool. I get numbers and birds and crap thrown at my head. So I call Wendy and I was like, Domenica's right there with me. And I said, okay, what in the hell does this mean? Like, what does it mean? And what did you say?
Well, so first of all, I laughed because you have made fun of me because this is a real thing for some folks that channel and that are intuitive. One of the things, and I've just learned this recently, every time that I will be sharing, if I'm channeling something from God for somebody, and it's like it takes some time, right? Because you're like, it's your intuition. So you're like, am I hearing this or am I making this up? Is this me? Is this not? It's a muscle that you have to work, right? But one thing that I
Oh, God,
started to
she's gonna cry.
notice was that every time that I was either talking about something that was shared with me in a channeled message or a download, or as it was coming in and I'm sharing it, there would be crows that would come out of nowhere. Crows would start like squawking and, whatever
Yep.
around me. And so I
At the
was like,
family event,
what?
that happened a lot.
Yeah. And so,
All the
right. And
crows.
so yeah, it doesn't even matter where I am. Like I could be in the middle of the city where there would be nothing, and all of a sudden here's a crow. Like if I'm getting a message and I'm sharing something, and so I look this up because I'm like, this cannot be a coincidence. Like why are there crows like every time that I'm saying something? I just started to notice. Obviously. And one of the things I learned is that as you ascend through your intuitive gifts, sometimes you can be somebody who attracts in crows so that it's a sign of your growing intuition. And it's almost like I call it like intuitive training wheels so that, it's teaching me
Right.
like, no, yes, you're hearing the right thing. And so, yeah. So like last weekend when I was out with you guys and I was telling you things that I had
Mhm.
heard or that I had channeled, there were crows everywhere. And, you were
Yep.
laughing at me like, oh yeah, you got crows that, whatever. I'm like, okay.
Cute.
So when
Cute.
this happened to you, immediately what I heard was, yeah, so this is the awakening of her intuition and her intuitive gift. And because she's so stubborn, we literally had to hit her upside the head with some crows so that she couldn't miss the sign. I can't even
Perfect.
make this up. If people think
Perfect.
that like God, spirit, the source, whatever, does not have a sense of humor, y'all are mistaken because
Yep.
some of the stuff that I hear, like I'm like, no, they did not just say that. But yes, that is
Mhm.
exactly. So this is your sign that your intuition is now being awakened, and they want you to understand that you may also now literally attract crows as, your
Totally this morning. Yes. Not even
training wheels,
chilling on the
whatever.
garages. Like, there they are. Hi. I look like
Uh,
the crow house now, which goes real good with my chickens. Like, I can't even
that's
make it up.
amazing.
But
I know.
then what,
So,
literally,
hey,
it was 2 days after that, 2 days after that,
yeah.
where you text me and I said, oh, you had another download for me specifically, and I was like, was it at 4:56 this morning as I'm walking through the house and
4, 5,
this
6.
stuff is
Yes.
this is happening to me? And
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it
4,
was, and
5,
I had
6.
the cameras to prove, like, yeah, that's what time it was because I let the dog out.
Yep.
So yeah, we're
Yeah. All those
grounding. We're
things.
just all the things.
So
So
good.
it
So
fits in
good.
this week. God,
So good.
I can't make it up. I didn't know I was gonna wake up to an X-Men movie. Like, I didn't realize, like, that's where I go with this.
Listen, and this is the thing. Like, I know that we joked about this, or a couple of episodes ago when you were talking about like I was leaning all the way in. It's like,
Uh-huh.
listen, I got news for you. Like, it's not like I'm like, hey, I wake up and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna lean all the way in. No, no, no. Like, it just kind of moves you in that direction. You're like on a highway. So, well,
Where
welcome to the
I
journey.
have had all of I mean, I've been on the journey a lot longer than you have, but I've had nothing but roadblocks, chaos, like figuring out this whole twin thing for like a year, like figuring what the heck that all was and trying to
Yeah,
not have it. What?
that one's
I
a hard
don't
one.
am I supposed to reach out and say, "Hi, am I crazy?" Or are you seeing my name everywhere in these numbers? Look,
Yeah,
I'm not chasing you. I'm chasing the
yeah.
confirmation of, like, what the is going on. And then here I am all over again. Like, here I am reawakening for the seventh dark night of the soul. Like, okay.
So fun, isn't it?
So
It's so fun.
I'm just catching all the way back up to where you just hop off and go directly to, I give me a minute. Just I'm getting there. Grounding,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Grounding. Yes. Well, so anyways, yeah, you definitely that is your wake up call. That's
Perfect.
gonna start happening for you. So Tolly, how's your energy?
Meant
Meant
no.
she's
I
over
I
love
did
it.
hair today.
I love it.
I did
I
Oh, you
worked.
did
I
hair
did
It's
you
been a
worked
productive
today.
day.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
productive.
Productive is your energy. Okay. No
Yep.
birds are flying at you yet.
Nope. Nope.
Listen, I stayed
No
here long
bird.
enough. There'll be some kind of
Yeah.
crow just
None
sitting
flying
on
at
the
me just
window,
yet.
maybe a raven.
Yeah.
There's a bald eagle.
Some stuff's coming for you though, Tolly. I don't think it's birds, but yeah, it'll happen.
Phew.
Anyways, okay.
Is it a
All
bag
right.
of money asking for a friend?
Well, could be.
Well,
Listen,
so I'm
that's what your affirmation needs to be, right? You need to start manifesting that stuff
Right.
Yep.
into your
Bags of
into your actual reality. Okay, so this week for our come up, we're going to talk about divine feminine energy and divine feminine and divine masculine, what that is. Because we say that every time, like that we're divine feminines. What is that? The healthy energy of that versus the distorted energy, and like what are the qualities, and how do you know what you are? Because that might be of interest to you or of importance. So okay, let's jump in. Oh, and I literally just had a ladybug fly and land on my monitor out of nowhere. I don't
sweet.
even know where that thing came
Good
from, but
luck.
that's got to be a sign of something, right?
Good luck.
So,
I
okay,
literally can't even.
not a
The
crow.
signs
It's
be
not a crow.
signing.
The crow's
And it
say
didn't hit me in
sign.
the face. It
Yeah,
didn't
the
hit me in the
signs are
face,
signing.
so
Yeah, and crows
This
could
is
shit
your
on you.
signy. Listen, those crows hitting you in the head are your signiest sign. You can't get a signier sign than that.
but bro,
They were dive bombing her head.
after they did
That's
it, they
incredible.
went across the street and they sat up on the neighbor's roof
Yeah.
and just sat there and
They
literally
taunted
watched
you.
me leave.
They were
And then
taunting her.
they were
And
gone.
I told her, like, listen, these are going to be your friend. Like, you should make friends with them. You should give them like little treats
Perfect.
and gifts. And
Perfect.
then they will bring
Good.
you gifts. It's pretty cool.
I
Like,
see
they'll give
you.
you
I feed the birds, all the cute little tweet and no,
no,
crows. Crows. I got them
no
sitting on my
crows.
arms and whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
great.
All right. So, anyways, all right. So, whether you've heard these terms or not, so the terms divine feminine and divine masculine, these
Mhm.
are energies. These are not about gender. So that's the first thing that's kind of confusing, right? So people hear feminine, they assume woman; masculine, they assume man. That is not the way that it is. So why would it be easy to understand? but it is not about gender. So, I mean, we all happen to be divine feminines and we're women, but that that doesn't always
I
have
don't
to be
know.
the
Low
case.
key, I could have went either way, but
Yeah. But okay, but
I had the masculine energy for the longest time.
well, and
Mm.
so okay, so the thing that we're going to talk about is that all of us embody both energies, right? So you do
Mhm.
have divine feminine and divine masculine in each of us, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. You have both. And there should be, when you're in a good place with yourself and you're in alignment, those things are in harmony, right? So you have I move in divine masculine energy just as much as I move in divine feminine energy, but the majority of my energy, like the thing that's most prominent in me is divine feminine. And so we're going to talk about like what those qualities are. But when those energies are balanced in you, then there's a harmony. But when they're distorted or wounded, they cause chaos, burnout, or disconnection from your authentic selves. Okay. And that's not a shot at anybody. Like we all have gone through that clearly,
Oh
which is
yeah.
why you go on a healing
100%.
journey.
It's
Journey be journeying.
Right. So we're going to go through this. And then at the end of this, then you'll have, if you're curious about like, hey, which do I most identify with? You're going to have the ability to recognize which energy you naturally lead with. Okay. Um, okay. So what are these energies? We'll start with divine feminine. Divine feminine is defined as like the essence of creation. It's really intuitive. There's flow, there's receptivity, there's empathy and connection. Like, so those are the things that, you know, really define that feminine energy. So it's, symbolized by, the moon and water, like cycles of nature. The divine feminine, she listens, she feels, she nurtures, and she creates life, whether, that's a baby, a business, or an idea, right? That's really the role of that divine feminine energy.
Yeah.
Okay. The divine masculine energy then is the essence of action, structure, like direction, logic, protection, and discipline. Okay. And usually divine masculine energies are more three-dimensional. I should say that. So, like, they're like the physical stuff that you see in the everyday earth plane, where the divine
Mhm.
feminine is more like 5D. They're the more spiritual one, that they feel all these things and they get all these ideas and they have this intuition. That's more
They get
divine
hit in the
feminine.
head with crows and
Or yes.
eagles
See,
and
you were probably embodying
dragonflies.
your divine
any type of bird,
masculine when you actually got hit in
even
the
a
head with the
ladybug.
crows.
I probably was.
Yeah.
It probably was.
Yeah, and my ladybug, I don't know where she went, but like she was just
Cute
She's
hanging
got
on
little
my
wings.
ladybug.
She's
Cute
got
little
wings.
ladybug. I just
Hey,
here
she
we go.
does.
Like,
Okay.
yep.
All
She
right.
should
So
be
the
over here with
divine
us.
masculine then is symbolized by the sun, fire, and purpose.
Mhm.
So they are builders, they're providers, they're protectors. And so they bring order and movement to the world. These two are not opposites, they're actually complements. The divine
Yep.
feminine is the flow. And then the divine masculine is, think about it as like a riverbank that guides the flow of the divine feminine, right? So they
Yep.
set the boundaries and like the structure so that the divine feminine energy flows correctly, I guess. So, all right, let's talk about like healed versus distorted expressions of divine feminine. If you are a healed divine feminine, which that's how I identify, this is somebody who is intuitive and deeply connected to their emotions. They're compassionate, they're empathetic, they're nurturing, they are creative and receptive to inspiration. In flows, like when, there's flow that's coming through them energetically, like they trust the process. They're not trying to control things. They're not trying to, and that takes a lot not to, but to just be open and just be like, okay, whatever comes, comes, and whatever's meant for me is it will find me. They're expressive and
Again, I
authentic.
embody most of that.
Okay.
I get stuck up on the control portion because I am who I am. And that's when I have to get hit in the head with things or stabbed in the feet or,
Yeah.
all the fun
Yeah.
fun
So,
component. So
like we talked about last time about being authentic, this is somebody who's expressive and authentic. And then they also embody this comfort in their own body and their own sensuality. And we're going to actually talk about that a little bit more and as our gutter monkey this week. But
mhm.
but anyway, so that's a healed divine feminine. So a distorted or like a wounded feminine is somebody who is overly emotional or manipulative. They are,
Manipulative.
yeah, it was like one of those weird words that I couldn't, my
Yeah.
brain wasn't connecting. They're passive, they're people pleasing. So like a few episodes ago, we talked about
Oh.
like being a people pleaser. Like that was when I was in my wounded feminine. I
Mhm.
checked everything on this list. I wasn't manipulative, but like I could be overly emotional, people pleasing, self sacrificing, lacking boundaries, wouldn't put up like I wouldn't invade other people's boundaries, but like I would let them invade mine. I never set boundaries for myself. It's like over giving, over whatever. They can be codependent or victim minded. They suppress their creativity and their sexual energy, and they seek, validation instead of self love. So it's like, I need to find that validation outside of myself. I can't give that validation or my, love to myself. So those are wounded feminines. Divine masculines. If you somebody who's embodying, healthy, balanced, divine masculine energy, this is somebody that shows up and they're grounded, they're disciplined, they're reliable, they have a purpose, they take aligned action with that purpose, they protect, they provide, they lead with integrity. They're logical, but they're also compassionate. So they have that balance, like we said last time, about their heart and their mind space, where they're not just all in their mind and like screw the heart, like I don't care about how this affects people. It's like,
Mhm.
no, they have a balance. They honor the feminine without trying to control them, which is a big deal
Oh yeah.
because yeah, that's that's a huge deal. And then they hold
Yeah.
space. They hold space for people without judgment. Now the wounded masculines, God knows I've had a lot of those in my life. And by the way,
Amen.
remember, like, I don't date dudes. I'm not like, I've only been with women. So the women that I've been with are divine masculines. So distorted, wounded masculines. And you guys
All of
may have too with men that you've been with if they were divine or they were.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
Can we just say they were all fucked up?
yeah, basically,
Yeah.
this is the they were
Pretty
fucked
much.
up list. Okay.
This is the
This this is you'll know if somebody's a wounded
if you
masculine
ain't it.
because they're controlling, they're dominating, they're aggressive, they're
Ooh.
emotionally unavailable or disconnected. That has been
Mm.
my biggest one right there is the emotionally unavailable or disconnected.
Mhm.
Overly critical, rigid, ego driven. They define their worth by their productivity or what they do in the
Their
world.
material bullshit.
Yeah, like that defines, everything about them or their power. They seek validation through dominance or success, and then they suppress their vulnerability. Okay, so that's what that
Ain't
looks
gonna
like.
feel the feels. That's what that looks like. Oh, I ain't
I'm gonna,
feeling no feels. Ew.
uh,
Alright,
I'm gonna
cool,
tell you,
me
like, I'm
either.
not interested in any of that. But anyway,
Mhm. Mhm.
okay. So what's the purpose of these energies? So ultimately the purpose is integration of the energies. So you're meant to embody both of these energies, not equally at times, but in harmony. So like just
Yeah.
because you're a divine feminine, you have divine masculine energy too, right? Because like especially if like you're building something, you're taking care of business, like you still do that, but
Yeah.
you do it from a healthy place, but you just happen to lead with, more of the traits of the divine feminine or vice versa. You lead with more of the traits of the divine masculine and you still have some of those divine feminine qualities. So really it's about integration of those two energies within yourself and, creating this harmony that would be in you. So if you think about it like this, like the divine feminine, she's like a dreamer. She dreams, she feels, she receives divine guidance. The masculine, then, if they're working together as like counterparts, so this is like saying it's like two people. The masculine then takes that guidance and makes it real through action and structure. So, like, if there are two people that are like divinely connected and like healed, then the divine feminine would be like, hey, I had this idea or I had this dream or feeling about this. And then, the divine masculine would be like, oh, yeah,
Let's work
like
on that.
yeah, we could do that. And here's how we could do that. And it doesn't mean that they don't have dreams and ideas and things too, because they do, but they're
Mhm.
better at just making those things kind of come into the 3D and like how would we do this type
Mhm.
of thing. But anyways, and if it's not two people, it's like you and yourself having both of those things. Like so like, oh, I might get like a feeling or an idea, like a creative idea, and then figure out how I might be able to execute that. You know what I mean? Does that make
Yep.
sense? Okay.
Yeah. Like daily over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like,
Sorry.
when you're
Sorry.
balanced, within yourself, then you feel at peace and you feel confident and creative and you honor your intuition and your logic and you can give and receive love freely. And I
Yep.
tell you what, that is not something that a lot of people are healed to do, to be honest.
Yep.
That takes some time. But anyways, and
I
then
was
you
always
can
the giver, the receiver. I could just no. I was like, ooh, ill, God, no, don't.
okay.
I don't need that back.
Okay, so but okay, here's why. This would be a whole other thing, G, but like the reason is we grew up in a family that lacked emotion. And so when
Yep.
you lack emotion, you start to become an overgiver, a people pleaser, that kind of thing. But then you give it out, but like you tend to be with or attract in emotionally unavailable people because that's safe. Because
Yep.
then you can be a giver. You definitely don't want to receive anything from them because
It feels
that would
weird.
be scary, right? Because like
Oh
if
my
you
God,
took from
gross.
them,
Ew.
then you would actually feel love. And like if you aren't healed and that's a wounded place for you, then you can't receive it because you're like, no, 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 I don't do that. Like that's unsafe.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
like a lot of my life, probably yours too, sounds like it. That's the way
Mhm.
we moved, right? So you would
Oh,
just like
100%.
you're not
Yeah.
consciously attracting these people, but like
Right.
subconsciously, you're picking all
Yep.
the people that are wounded because you're like, okay,
Mhm.
this is safe for me because I don't know how to deal with that.
I need you to give less of a shit about me
Right.
so I can give more of a shit about you or something along those lines. So I don't have to feel the feels. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna love you unconditionally, but I don't
Yeah,
want
but
to have
you
to
can't accept
feel
it in return. And so, so you end up attracting partners that are emotionally unavailable. And so, as somebody now who is fully healed, recognizes that, has healed that part of me, it's like, oh
Mhm.
no, like I don't want that. Like that is not
Oh yeah, no,
that's
I
not
have
what
like
I
the blueprint. Like now
Yep.
it's like and it's not the words. Like I don't give a hot shit. You can tell me, "Oh, I love you. It's all of this." What I you know what? That does nothing for me. Like I look at that and I go, "Yeah, not it. That isn't it." It's not about the words, it's about the energy. Once you are healed and or healing and you realize what that is for you, you accept nothing less
you
than exactly that.
yeah, you can't anymore. You can't
It's gross.
because
It's
well,
literally
yeah.
gross.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. No, because like internally you're different now. Like as a healed person internally,
Mhm.
like you get it. Like you can feel immediately whether or not it's something that aligns with you or not. And
Yeah. What you were
it's a
saying.
beautiful thing.
That's
It's
what
a
Missa
beautiful
was saying.
thing.
She's just like, I'll just be alone. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I can't even imagine somebody being in my space.
No.
She's like,
No. So you're like so miss, you're just like cool being like balanced of feminine and masculine on your own. Who the hell cares? You
Good.
don't want it.
I'll
Good.
mow the lawn and I'll make dinner.
nailed it, girl.
Okay. Okay.
Meanwhile,
I
I'm like,
mean,
I'm at the balance where I'm cool. You know, I'm still obviously taking care of family because
yep,
that's the only thing that's around me is
yep,
family.
yep,
And, you know, I'm doing that and for as long as I can, I guess, until I'm beat in the head with another crow and I got to move a different way. But my entire family understands that and knows exactly where I am and that, like, if you try to
yeah.
put me back in the box, I'm going to blow out of here.
Same, same. Well, well, same. Part of the struggle for me is like you go through this awakening, like we were talking about before, is like, man, having to be open when they were saying open to the flow of things. That is so much uncertainty in your life, but you have to embrace it because that's how how you're going to grow and move, right? And
Yep.
and so that's where I'm at is I'm just embracing that and whatever wherever you need to take me and whatever needs to happen from here, I am open. I
But
say to the
she
universe.
started with the flow. You started immediately in with the flow. Like you were like, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow." Meanwhile, I'm over here pumping the brakes the entire time, trying to like go my own way, trying to figure it out because again, this is why we're doing things like this because I'm hitting like Google search on what the
Yeah.
hell do these numbers mean? What the hell does
Right.
me happen to see this? What does all of this mean? And again, I didn't have the clarity in the
Well,
downloads and whatnot. So
Well, and
it
so
was
too is like I got to tell you is it's not easy to go with the flow. That means complete and total surrender. So you have to
mhm,
get to a point where my gosh, especially if you've been somebody who has okay, so a lot of my life and yours too, probably yours too, Tali, it sounds like a lot of us have had to be really strong, independent women who are
oh
like,
yeah.
"Listen, I handle shit. Like I control my shit. Like I'm doing me. And
Mhm.
I build my own kingdom and I do all this and whatever, right?
I have my own empire.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so then this awakening
I'm working on
comes
that too.
it's like, so all that stuff that you've
Mhm.
been doing, like,
Yep.
yeah,
Sit down, bitch.
that's
Sit
a
down.
wounded part of you, like, we're
Yep.
gonna need to rearrange all of that, and that was
Yep.
one of the first things that had to go for me was, like, you think that you have all of this planned out. You think that you've mastered your life and that you know exactly how you're moving and what you're gonna and then they're like, "Yeah, no," and it was taking their arm and clearing the table. It was like, "Nope, none of this." So, I mean, and that's like, I mean, you want to talk about something that completely takes you to your knees where you're like, oh my gosh,
I wouldn't know
it
at
does.
all.
It
Are
does.
we are we kidding
It
me?
does.
I even tried to take trips to get away from it. I would hop
Yeah.
planes
Oh,
and
yeah.
it
Oh, yeah. Good luck.
follows you. Like,
Oh, good luck. Yeah. It's fun.
holy
It's
my
fun.
God.
So it's always like, I don't know what y'all are on, but I ain't getting
Yeah.
on that because that sounds horrible.
Oh no. It's
I'm
gonna
going to
be so
avoid the
good.
pros. It's so
It's
good. I'm
gonna be
like,
so good. She's like, yeah,
Still
she's like,
waiting.
yeah, what in the
I'm just
hell?
still waiting over here. She said, no, don't listen.
Listen,
Like everybody talks about all the warm and fluffy part about it. They don't talk about like the trauma that you have got to.
is
Uh-huh.
Yep, there is. I'm not gonna lie about that. I mean, but like that's part of the healing, right? Listen, our personality styles are clearly very different. G, like obviously you were gonna
Mhm.
fight this thing the whole way because you don't want to give up that control. Like where I think I'm gentler, where I'm just like, listen, I'm tired. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I don't know how else to do it. Like eventually I'm gonna
Listen,
just
that's not
run the
me.
same I'm gonna run the same circle 8 times, or I can just be like, forget it. Like whatever you gotta do, do it. And like I want to go through it one
Meanwhile, I'm on
right?
number 467 spinning around the block and the universe is like, "Oh, you
No.
still didn't get it? Send it. Send it. Send it. Send it. Send it."
Yes, yes, yes. And they will keep doing that to you. They will keep sending it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's real hard for like I don't listen. Yeah.
It's not easy. Listen, that's the ultimate vulnerability, right? I mean,
Mhm.
is when you just say, okay. I mean, and the thing is like, if you're on this journey, like, and you're there, and
Mhm.
anybody who's watching this and like is probably laughing too, because they're like, listen, I don't,
Mhm.
I mean, there's some of us that go the easy way and some of us that go the stubborn way, I guess. And
That's how I was built though. Come on, man. Like my whole life.
listen,
Like
listen, Taurus. You are probably the most stubborn sign in the zodiac, so
yeah.
y'all don't have that going for you. I'm just saying, but like you
Mhm.
just got you got to figure you got to figure it out because otherwise you're just going to keep looping. You're going to keep looping, and
I did. I did. I figured out some things and, it
okay,
takes me just a little longer. So I'm just a little behind, but listen, all right? I'm
yeah,
getting there.
I know
But
you will.
again,
You
if
will.
I unlocked all of this 3 years ago before you woke up, what the heck would that look like?
You'd
Like,
probably be the one sitting and telling me about crows hitting in me in the head instead of the other way
mm,
around. You'd be
I
the
don't
ones that
know.
would you'd be the one that would be channeling messages to me, which would be nice by the way, but you'll have your own very soon. You just have to, you just got to let it happen. You just got to surrender to it. And when you do, then things are going to start to flow for you. Okay. Okay. Now that we know all these things, how do you tell which energy you lead with then? The way you would know is that you'd say, okay, do I lead with logic and control and action? And that's more masculine qualities. Or do you tend to lead with your intuition, your emotion, and your creativity and flow? And so you can usually identify with one or the other. And again, gender is not a thing here. It's just, what do you lead with? And so let's say I lean more feminine, which I do. I lead feminine. But the way I started to recognize my wounds were like, I started walking through that wounded feminine list and I was like, oh man, it was like almost like the universe just giving me like a list, like, here's the list. Here's the list of stuff that we're going to be working through. So it's like, oh, do you
Yep.
struggle to set boundaries? Yep. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Or, do you, like, if you're a masculine, do you struggle with vulnerability? Like, if you're a divine masculine, or if you're a masculine and you're like, listen, I don't let people in, like, nah, no, we don't go there. Like,
I
I
think I
have.
I think I've completely, like, switched, like, I think I've almost switched over as time has gone on, because now that I'm so much more, well, I number 1, I haven't been in a relationship for years, so I can't even tell you how long. And
Yep.
then just, I think that being, independent and having Mr. B, and,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I got my crystals. I got my girls. I
Yep.
I don't need anybody. I don't need a bigger friend circle. I don't need, so I don't know if I've just been very, but also I can jump off at this. So I don't know.
All right. All right.
I'm a
We
mess.
can't have two pop-offs
I'm a
because
mess.
Okay, but all right. So, Miss, let's just do kind of like do a little exercise with you then. So, like, given those lists of traits, do you identify and lead with more feminine or masculine?
That's hard.
so controlling, dominating, aggressive, emotional,
Well, no, those are
available.
okay, wait, hold on. Those are the wounded parts of a masculine. I don't
All
think she leads
right.
with
I
those.
think I might be on that list. Still working
Well,
through
okay.
that.
Okay, but so you'll have to look at the list, but I think, okay, if I
Right.
had to
Oh yeah.
say this about you, I would say you are definitely more feminine. I think you lead more feminine. Okay.
But I'm also like,
But
on one of these it says I'm very reliable. I'm reliable. Where does that say?
That's divine masculine. So right here, like you trust the process. You're here with us and we're just batshit. So, you're trusting that process. You're expressive. You're authentic. See? Confirmation.
confirmation from Mr. B.
Mr. B.
Excuse me for 1 minute.
This is talking about which energy you lead with. So it's like, do you struggle with boundaries or vulnerability? We talked about that as a masculine. Do you feel safe expressing emotion or do you suppress it? And then, another question to ask yourself is like, do I trust life to unfold or do I try to control or force everything? Looking at you, G. Just saying.
I would just say, from my standpoint, don't let it go for 3 years. Like, go ahead
No,
and
you
just listen the
probably.
first damn time. Maybe the second. Like, 467 times around the same block is probably aggressive. So,
Well, but so the deal is that that's ego, right? So if you've been used to controlling, you're like, "Hey, I run
which
this shit."
that's hilarious because I'm the least ego driven person. Like, materialistic crap has never ever been my thing.
But
Like,
that's not what it's
that,
about. Ego can
right. And
be about control,
yeah.
big time. And
So
like,
I wasn't getting the memo around the block because I'm like, what? I don't. It's not like it's like
hmm,
I go ego to vanity. Like, that's ego to me. That's what was correlating in my head, and I'm like,
no,
what? No, like, gross.
no,
I'm
no.
I'm none of that. Well,
No, ego
shit.
can be, yeah, it's not just about vanity, arrogance, possessions, all that kind of thing. It can
Mm-hmm.
really be about your inability to just go with the flow and to need to control and to need to
No.
overthink and overplan everything. And it's like, You
And need the
I
validation
mean,
that you're not crazy? Yeah, that
well,
too. That part.
and so, okay, on the twin flame divine counterpart journey, you as a divine feminine, you constantly trying to reach out to your counterpart to say, "Hey, am I crazy or not? Or are you feeling this
I didn't even
too? Are
say
you
any of
seeing all the
that. Like
signs?"
all I was just like is like, hey. I didn't even know how to approach that. Like, and I knew
The
I
answer is
wasn't
you can't.
crazy because all of the people around me also saw it to the point where I told you my little at one point said, "I'm going to get out of the car and check for an air tag because we keep running into him. Like there's no way we can all be at this like what?" And I'm like, and I didn't say anything. I didn't say a word.
Yeah.
But again, it's the more you try to say like, "Hi, do you see like how do you approach that? Do you see my name everywhere? Is my birthday just
Oh,
happen to be the time it is every time you look up? Like,
yeah.
is it always 422 for you? I don't,
Yeah.
do you get all the like 222 and then look up and you're at a stop sign and I'm sitting right there? Like, what, bro? Like this,
Yep.
no sense, none at all. And then
Yeah.
so you're trying to get that confirmation. And I did that for like a year. And then I was like, all right, well, he ain't answering. And I don't know how to approach that. So I just will figure it
You
out.
c
I go for, so then I detach and I think like, that's good. I did
no.
all the detachments. Like,
Yeah.
cool. And
I mean,
I
that's
worked
part
on
of it.
myself.
That's part of it. You have to do that. I mean, so
Well,
the
I thought the working on myself part was going to the gym 2 hours every day forever. I didn't realize it was an
Yeah.
inner thing.
Very much an inner thing. So, like,
So good.
the whole point of, for anybody who's watching who, may not be familiar with twin flame counterpart journeys, one, you don't sign up for these. Like, well, maybe you do in
No.
the spiritual realm, but then you just find yourself on it. And, there's no, there's no real guide. And when I say that, it's like there's all kinds of stuff, right? That you could look at. There's all kinds of
Mhm.
stuff, but most
Oh,
of it
yeah, but the
most
stuff
of it is
that
the garbage, honestly.
oh, hi.
Yeah.
Yes, it's garbage. It really is. Like, okay. So I would just like to point out because people are going to be like, well, how do you know? How do you know it's a twin? Okay. So
Yeah, it's
if you're
pretty obvious.
asking the freaking question, like I'm telling you, it's your okay. So I'll give like one like small, very small example. It's just okay because I have millions of receipts at this point, like mental receipts that I got to relive like from 3 years ago and go, oh my God, let's see that. But we'll talk about just real quick names. So I was with my twin and I nicknamed something very it was just sweet. The other meaning to that name is actually to hold history and data. So the nickname I gave him wasn't something very cute. It was actually the meaning of holding history and data. And then, okay, so 3 months into like us hanging out all the time, anytime we had free time, it's us, whatever. My intuition said to me, like, hey, wait a minute, because you guys call me G or Bridge or whatever. Like, I got a ton of nicknames, and then got my government name. So
The
I
government.
literally remember I text him and I said, because it just hit me. I've never heard him say my name. I don't know what he calls me. Does he call me G? Does he call me Bridge? Does he call what?
Like
What
Destiny's Child, Say My Name, Say My Name.
exactly?
Hey,
Exactly.
the same.
But anyway, so I literally texted him and I said, when you say something to me, like what do you call me? And the response was shoulder shrug emoji, Bridge, I guess. You guess? It's because you've never said my name. Ever. You never. So how is it that I knew just anybody, just think about anybody. You're talking to anybody. You're with family, you're with friends, whatever, for 3 months straight. And you never have to say their name because they happen to walk in the room exactly when you're about to talk to them. They happen to look up whenever you need. How would I know to do any of that? How would you never have to say my name? How? Because I knew exactly what? No, like, no, no. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you have these receipts basically that you can look
Yeah.
back and say, okay, the music you share, the words that you speak,
Yeah.
they all actually scream. You're screaming at yourself the entire time. Like, this is what
Yeah.
this is, stupid.
Yeah. So I'm gonna loop this back to feminine, divine masculine, because one of the things that's most notable about the divine counterpart twin flame journey, I don't even know how we got down this path, but here we are. But one of the things that, I've learned most of the time when like in your case, it sounds like you come together, or there's a meeting or there's an activation, essentially, right? Takes all
Mhm.
kinds of forms. Like you actually were with your twin for a period of time, and then there becomes a separation, right? Because I'll tell you why is because the activation, the initiation, however that happens, and then time together or not, what happens is like you're both wounded. So you're a wounded feminine and they're a wounded masculine, right?
Mhm.
And you trigger each other because what happens is that this person is your soul's frequency. You share a soul that is mirrored. You share the same frequency. It's like you seeing yourself in another person, and it's like, and it's not positive if you're both wounded. And so what happens is it triggers, which is what happened to y'all, right? Because that's what's supposed to happen. And then
Well, I
it
mean, I know my
splits
side.
you.
I don't know what happened
So
on.
I will tell you, you don't have to know the other side. The other side
Yep.
is because essentially this is a journey to yourself, right? And so you as divine
Mhm.
feminine, so you just have to know that that is going to happen or is happening on the other side, whether you know it or not, or it will
Mhm.
happen because you are connected. Like you are connected now. So that's going to happen. But the more you as the divine feminine, because they're activated first and then you go through the whole list. It's like that, that whole list that we just had, like start checking off the list, like, oh, how many of these
Right.
things am I going to go
And
through? Because
we have to have the
here's your
PhD in all of the
it's like
studies because
it's like
what.
the professor showing up and being like, okay, for this course, here are all the topics we're
Mhm.
going to cover, and you're just looking at that list going, oh shit.
Yeah, meanwhile,
This is
I'm
gonna
failing
suck.
all the classes and retaking them
Yeah,
every
it's gonna
semester for
suck
3
big
years.
time. Right. So, listen, anybody who's on a divine counterpart journey will probably laugh and resonate with this because
So
it's
good.
like, what in the heck? Like all of a sudden, especially if you're divine feminine, because they have it rough. I was gonna say, divine feminines, this it is not an easy it is not an easy road. But so that's why it's like,
Mm-mm.
listen, bro, just surrender to it. Because it's gonna keep looping you back anyways.
There
That's my
is.
mindset. I'm not gonna run this whole list of things 8 times. Let's just get this through. But anyways, yeah, I mean, it can be crazy, but yeah. So I will tell you, you should revisit that list because we grew up in the same family. Some of the
Mhm.
woundings that I carry are going to be stuff that you carry too. I can tell you most of that wounded feminine list you're going to be working through. It's a fun time.
I love it here.
That's how you're going to arise. That's how you're going to ascend. That's how you're going to start to come into alignment with your giftings and this purpose, this mission, so that crows aren't flying out of the sky and hitting you in the head.
Hey,
Which I think is
I'm about
hilarious.
to I'm about to have some pet crows. I don't know. I'm about to
You
something.
know, Tully's
I'll
like,
just
listen,
cage them with
I
the
don't know
chickens.
what you all have attracted. I don't know how you got
Right.
into what you're into, but I don't want any of this shit. I just want
I'm
me and
just
my dog.
listening. I'm taking it all
She's just
in.
taking it
You
in and
know,
going,
you know what's
"Man,
gonna
I need
happen,
a
Tolly. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna
I'm
happen
gonna have a
is,
crow do a drive-by.
yeah, you're gonna
crow do a
probably have a,
drive."
yeah, you got some gangster crows, I guess. But no,
Right?
you know what'll end up happening is that
I'm in the city of
she'll end up
Rochester.
on a divine counterpart journey too, just by proximity. Watch.
Oh yeah. She'll be
It'll
like, "Oh
happen.
my
You'll be
god, I
like,
have
son of a bitch.
no idea why this person is like, why is this
Yep.
person's name keep coming up? Why is this what is happening here?" I'll
My
be like,
God.
mm,
And you'll
spin the
know if
block
it happen.
467 times so you know. Just
Yep.
let it happen.
Okay. Back to the main message. So, if you do have the wounded parts of your divine feminine or divine masculine, those are things that you want to heal those things. I mean, just because the more you heal those things, the more you come into alignment with yourself, right? And so then you
Yeah.
become this embodiment of who you're meant to be from your soul person, right? So that you're whole. And so how do you heal and integrate? So like for feminines, and I can speak to this as I've had a lot of experience with this now. You start to practice like we've talked about before, quieting your mind, having stillness so that you can start to read into your intuition. Your intuition activates and starts to guide you. And that's usually done through meditation. I practice meditation daily. It started to show me the things that I needed to focus on healing. And then journaling is another thing that's really helpful too. Those go hand in hand with me because usually I get intuitive messages or they show me things or they show me future things or whatever. And then if you are a creative person as a divine feminine, this is something that, I can speak to too is like, it might be art or dance or music that is also healing for divine feminines as well. And you don't have to be a divine feminine to have those creativity outlets either, but specifically for divine feminines, those are things that are really helpful. Also, to heal as a divine feminine, you have to start setting healthy boundaries. And we've talked about that before, but it's like, yeah, you got to start saying no. You got to start saying, nope, this is me time if you're not used to doing that. And this was a really hard one for me is you have to let yourself receive. This was tough. This was a hard one for me to overcome is like, and I think I'm not all the way there. I'm going to be working that out as I move with people, this will continue to evolve and grow, but it's letting yourself receive compliments, help, abundance that's brought into your life. If you're the one that's used to not letting that in because you're in a wounded place where you're like, I'm a giver, I'm not a receiver. No, 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 no. I don't receive. It's like, no, 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 no. As a healed feminine, you do receive. You have to receive. And so you have to get comfortable with that. For masculines, the way that you heal and integrate is you practice being vulnerable and having emotional honesty. If you're
Yep.
somebody that's been like, yeah, nah, nope, I only do surface level, relationships with
Yep.
everybody in my life. Nope, sorry. Like you've got to start to allow. Now, I'm not saying you give that out to everybody, but you'll be shown who you give that to. Like a friend, if it's a romantic interest, it's, whatever, like you'll be guided to the right people, but you have to start to
Mhm.
practice vulnerability with them. You learn to listen without trying to fix everything. So it's like, no, you don't need to fix everything. Sometimes you just need to listen and hold space for people. You build structure to protect your peace, whether that's like routines that you might have or commitments and your purpose. So if you do all that, you'll be in a more healthy space. And if you're working on both sides because again we have all those energies within us, and if you're trying to integrate as yourself, then it's about that kind of alchemy of wholeness, fixing those things and seeing them and saying, okay, I got to learn to do this differently and I got to surrender to the things that I need to fix. And, when you do that together, you let your inner feminine feel and dream. And then your inner
Mhm.
masculine becomes somebody, becomes that part of you that acts and protects. So that's a very healed, high vibrational person. Let's talk about gutter monkey energy. I always love the gutter monkey stuff. Last
Mhm.
episode we did one uppers. This one's going to be a little bit different, but it's moving on this idea of wounded and unhealed. And so one of the things that's become really apparent to me, I'm going to pick on women specifically. And I'm going to throw myself in this bucket too because this is something that I had to go through as well. Listen, there is something and I'm shown when I was getting this message, like I'm shown this epidemic with women today. It's the idea of like sexual repression versus expression. And so here's why I want to talk about it from an energy perspective. So when you and I'm talking to females right now. So like
Woo woo. That'd be us.
one of the biggest energetic blocks in women's lives can be sexual repression. And I'll tell you why. Is that
Somebody needs to
there's this
bring this up.
energy that like most of us, maybe not the generation that's younger, maybe, but
Mhm.
like we're all Gen Xers, right? So Gen Xers and up, and maybe some millennials as well. Just depends on how you grew up and, whatever, because thank God things are changing in the world right now. But like those of us that grew up in that time, there was this energy that was, we were taught as females that we needed to be quiet, that we needed to be good, we needed to be modest, even though our body was literally designed to create, to feel, to express divine, feminine power. um that's not the way it was ever, right? So I'm preaching to the choir, right?
100%.
We
Mhm.
were hit with
My
this.
black sheep been black sheeping for since we were kids. Like, I
Yeah,
was
but
loud, I was out of place, I was
actually, that did you some favors because those of us that went along with this crap, became repressed. It's like the thing is expression is not about lust, it's about liberation. It's being just free. And so for centuries, like there have been this conditioning of women through religion and patriarchy and what I would like to call good girl programming that instills this fear that pleasure is sin and that desire is shame. So repression disconnects women from their sacral chakra. So your sacral chakra is just below your navel, and that's like known as the energy center of your creativity, your
known as your energy
sensuality, and
fupa.
your emotional flow. What? What are you guys saying?
That's your energy fupa.
Yeah.
That's your energy fupa, girl.
Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly right.
That's so funny.
Or yeah, sacral chakra, energy fupa, perfect. You guys are
Mhm.
nuts. Okay, so
Listen,
like
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you're a female that's watching this and you're like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I've got a blocked sacral chakra. How do I know? Well, you'll have some symptoms. It can be a disconnect from desire, and that can be sexual, that could be anything, any kind of desires in your life. It could be your dreams. If you've got some disconnect from like your desires in life, you're probably got a blocked sacral chakra. If you are an overthinker, if you have
Let me
low
get it
confidence,
unblocked. Hmm.
if you
Girl,
are
explain how
people
you get that
pleasing.
unblocked, please.
Oh, I'll explain it to you in a minute. Hold on
Girl.
here.
she's gonna get there.
I'm gonna get there. Okay. People pleasing. So like when your sacral chakra is blocked, you're not just cutting off your sexual desire, you're cutting off your creativity, your power to manifest, your ability to experience joy. Like it just becomes this void. But I'm telling you, when I was talking about this, like spirit came through very clearly to me was like this is a problem with women today. Their sacral chakras are blocked. There is a group of women in this world for a whole host of reasons, like I said, like religious, generational, patriarchal, whatever, that are experiencing this blockage. So you got to talk about it. I was like, oh, phew, thank God that I got to be that messenger.
I'm
But
good with it.
but listen, okay, so expression is healing. Sexual energy is life force energy, and that's the same energy that births art and passion and purpose. So if that's blocked in you and that's not flowing through you, then chances are you lack passion and the purpose like we were talking about before.
Mhm.
It's you can't get there unless you have that unblocked, right? It's about reclaiming that part of yourself as a woman and understanding, listen, sexual expression doesn't mean exhibition. And that's what we've been taught. It's like if you express yourself that way, gee,
Ho,
how she is.
should that hoe be
It's,
hoeing?
yeah, exactly. Like that thought over there,
Meanwhile, never, like ever.
Right. But you know what I mean? So, but expression
Mhm.
is not exhibition. It means embodiment. Like it's embodiment. It's like you're supposed to have those feelings. And so, yeah. Anyways, okay. So you were asking
Mhm.
ways that you heal this. There are things that
Mhm.
you can do, actual meditations and exercises. You can find these anywhere that are to unblock your sacral chakras. There are experts that can help you do that. You can do this through Reiki. Start to reclaim this as a
Or
female and just say, all right, these are tangible things that I can start to do to help me be comfortable in this. Starting to speak your desires without shame. Don't feel bad about that. It's like, listen, you're a female, you have desires. That's cool. But if you've always been taught, no, you can't have that, that's shameful to have that. That's a lie. I'm just telling you because they're channeling this to me to tell all of you women that might be listening that is not how you were made. You're not supposed to feel bad about that. Start surrounding yourself with other women who celebrate and not suppress those things in themselves, and that will help with your expression too. It's like, listen, if you've got like groups of friends that are like, yeah, what, like, no, maybe you find some friends that will be out there like these clowns over here. It's like,
wow, we're clowns now. Ain't that a bee?
you know what I'm saying,
No
but like,
worse.
but you can like,
Same.
but you need to have people that are like moving that way too, so that you don't feel bad about that. And they'll encourage you and they'll be like, "Oh, girl, yeah, please. Like, yeah, you got to embrace that about yourself." But
100%.
obviously there are women that don't have that. And so listen, if we got to be that for you, we'll be that for you. Like, tell
Cool.
us. Like, we'll
Yep.
tell you like,
No,
"Hey, we're about it. We are
all
about
about
it."
it.
So, if you want to send it to us, you send it to us. We'll hold you down. And so honestly,
Hold you
you'll
down, tie you
know
up, whatever you.
when a woman
Uh-huh.
heals her sexual
I know.
energy. A what?
No,
You're
it
just
was just
having your
like
little
this.
side conversations.
Yeah, no, because I just went into like hold up, tied down, like, and she's like, "You're living with a dude," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's not okay." So
You're like, "That's not it. Send it."
that's not it. That no, physically that can't be it.
So you'll know if, when a woman heals her sexual energy because she reclaims her power. She stops asking for permission to exist. She starts
Mm-hmm.
expressing herself more in different ways, like we talked about.
Yep.
It's like the gutter monkey energy in this is like, it's that repressed, heavy, judgmental energy that keeps, and specifically, I'm talking about women. I'm sure maybe there are men that experience this as well. If you've come from, again, a culture, a religious system, something that has made you feel shame about your desires as well. But like, specifically, this was a message they channeled me for women because I think it exists in women more so.
Yep.
And
Don't let
so,
nobody
like,
shame you.
no, and listen, your desire isn't dangerous. It's divine. Heal it, honor it, and watch your vibrations start to like skyrocket. That's part of this. That's
Mhm.
part of your remembering that your sensuality is sacred. It's a gift. Like you were given this. And it's the divine feminine expressing herself. Divine feminine, your sensuality is important. Having that feeling shame about that is just, well, it's kind of gutter monkeys. That's why we're using that,
All the way gutter money.
today. You know? It's like, okay, anyways, that's my gutter monkey this week because I just was like, okay, they showed it to me. I was like, fine, I'll say all this I'll say it because one, I believe in it. Okay. Like,
Yep.
and personally, okay, I'll put this out there for myself is like, I had a double dose of this gutter monkey energy when I was coming up and healing, right? Because not only did I have this repression that was put on me that I had to fight through,
Yep.
thank God I did, but like, I had to fight through that and recognize, like, no, what? No, no, I'm about to have all of these desires and feelings and sensuality and whatever. That's what makes me me as a female. And the other part of it was then I had the added complexity of sexual identity on top of it. So it was like, oh, wait. So now you're gay and you want to feel all that way. So I was like, listen, for anybody who can relate to that, that's
Mhm.
a double dose of gutter monkey energy I had to work through. But so I'm telling you, you can embrace this. There is no shame in
Yep.
this. You came to earth the way you were supposed to. Your desires, the things that your sexual expression, your sexual identity, however you move in that was preloaded in you. That is not, you didn't choose this. This is
Yep.
just the way you are. You don't shrink that.
Fact.
You don't make
Big facts.
apologies. Right. Yeah, you don't apologize for that. You don't shame yourself for it.
Mhm.
You don't judge other people for it.
Nope.
This is who you are. And it's like remembering and embracing that and saying, like, nah, like, listen, you got a problem with that? That's your problem. Like, this is who I am. This is who I was made to be. And like, that's how I move. So, anyways, for anybody who needed to hear that, like, claim that and roll with it because I'm telling you, that was a channeled message that somebody out there needs to hear and to know. Okay, and last segment. What are you manifesting at this time? Are you guys actively manifesting anything?
Actively
Sh-
manifest.
Should you
I
be
don't think I
manifesting
am.
something? Is there anything that you're looking to have in your life that you're waiting on? Gee, I think you've told us what yours is that you don't want to spin the block a million times. That you're going to be
Listen.
working on some inner stuff
Mm,
that may bring your divine counterpart into a union with you at some point if you do all those things.
wow. Wow. That's a lot right there. That was wow.
Just saying.
It's the truth. The
It
truth
is the
hurts
truth.
sometimes. You can laugh
That
all you want.
I'm just saying
I
that's the
agree
thing.
with you, Wendy.
Thank you. I'm just saying
That's a
when you do the work,
that
hey,
is.
When you do the work, that may
Oh,
happen. So anything that you're manifesting, G, besides your lessons?
no, no, just let me get through one step at a time.
I think I mentioned on on an earlier episode, we talked about I'm actively manifesting my soul family.
Yes.
Um, And so that's a constant, and that's, like, all kind of members of that soul family. So that'll be interesting as that starts to come in because I know that's happening. That'll happen. But I'm also manifesting something strange. So and I think I've mentioned this to you guys too. And I don't usually manifest physical things, but this one is a physical thing. There is this random castle in the town that I live in, right?
Yep.
And here's why. Like, I'm not somebody that would be like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna manifest a castle because it's a castle." But I mean, it's kinda cool. It's like this 1914, I think it's French, it's like a French Gothic castle. It's a really cool building. On the outside, it's pretty cool. We're driving by it one day, and I had heard that it had gone up for sale. It was just interesting. And then I happened to stumble upon it online, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me. Like, this there if I could take a building and all of my weirdness and randomness and the things that I love and admire in life or have interests in or whatever, literally all that shit is in this one building.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Mhm.
There's an unfinished restaurant and distillery and bar. Like in our family, we've always talked about me and my uncle has always wanted
So
a
awesome.
restaurant, and my grandfather was a chef, and that's always been a thing. And I was like, okay, there's literally a sanctuary. I don't even know. How do you make that up? There's an organ from floor to
That's so
ceiling
cool.
and sanctuary, but it's got a stage in it. So it's like, oh my God. Immediately I was like, wow, this would be
Live
kind of
can
cool.
sing.
You can open this up and do drag shows,
Yes.
and you got a
Or Liv
restaurant
can sing.
downstairs and
He managed that too, like as he said.
right. Yep. And so then there's a baby grand piano in the main area. And
Yep.
then there's this library. There's an art studio space. It's just like so random. There's like a dance studio like that was in there or something too. Like, and I guess like the history of the building is like there I guess it's been kind of an arts and cultural center at some point. Like this is weird. This building is like the most random, kind of melding of all the things inside. If I put my person into a building space, it would be like that.
Yep.
I was like, okay, why the hell not? I guess I'm going to start manifesting like, hey, listen, if it's supposed to happen, whatever, it'll happen. But it's a really cool building, and it would be really amazing finished. And I could see it being a cultural hotspot. It could be turned into this really cool place to have different things and events to support people in the community. But the coolest thing is, I didn't say anything. I was just like, okay, I think I may have mentioned it to you guys, but I didn't say anything else. And so we're driving through town one day, and my daughter's with me, and we happen to drive by it, and she's like, "Mom," she goes, "this castle is really cool." And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "I think you should get it."
She's so
And
smart.
I had never said anything to her. And
Yep.
like, there's no for sale
I
sign
think
or
you should
anything.
get
She was
it.
just like, "Hey, Mom, I think you should get that. I
Yep.
think you should get this Listen, kid, I don't know how that's going to happen, but, hey, if it's supposed to, it'll happen. Like, it'll happen. Things will align and it'll happen. But I just think it's kind of cool. But like, usually I don't usually manifest like physical things, but this one's too random
No, it's good.
Sometimes it's
to
okay.
pass up on.
And again,
Hey,
it's not
this
just
thing
for
would be so
yourself. It would
Right.
be
nope. No,
for
it
your
wouldn't be.
soul
It would be
tribe.
no, it would absolutely. I mean, I could actually see it being a landing place when people would come in. Like I could see there being a whole host of activity. If I lean into the building itself, it just lends itself to like this social community, and like it gives like arts kind of community. Hey, I'm not sure, but I'm manifesting that. So
Good.
that's
Do
where
that.
I'm at
Do that for
today.
everybody, especially us, because
Well, yes, like you guys, I think it's like something crazy, like 16,000 square feet. So, like, I'm sure that I could find a place for you guys to like hole up in
Could you
and come
please?
in.
yeah. Meanwhile,
I wouldn't even
I'm the
see
one
you.
that
You'd be in like the
wants
West Tower.
I'd be
right.
like this, with my walkie-talkie. "Wendy, I'm in the West Wing. I need some
It's
water."
true. It's really
And
true. It's
see,
pretty
and
cool.
like
And
I
yeah,
am
actually, I thought about you, miss. I thought about you because if you finished that whole restaurant and bar, I was like, my God, Tully would work the shit out of that bar. Are you kidding me? She would
Girl.
be.
I would totally.
She would work the shit out of that bar, and they put a full distillery in this thing. Like, what? Like,
So
I
we're
don't.
gonna make our own whiskey is what you're saying.
Yeah, or bourbon. Like, hey, I happen to be a
Bourbon,
lover of
whatever you
that, so why
want.
not?
Moonshine.
So, okay, yeah. So, anyways, I mean, it's just kind of a fun, quirky thing to kind of end with, but
I think it's a great thing.
we'll see. I mean, I'm telling you, it was so random. I was like, well, dude, if somebody, if somebody just put my insides into a building, it would look like this. So random. Okay. So that's all we have for you today. Thanks for listening to us about divine feminine, divine masculine energy. If it resonated with you, maybe look up those traits and look up what's healthy, what's wounded. That might help you in some way to identify, like G, maybe some of the things that you need to revisit.
Wow. Wow.
Just saying, hey, listen,
I,
I'm
I'm
not
glad
totally
that
all there
somebody
either.
else can like learn through my lessons. Like I'm here for it.
Hey,
Honestly,
that's why
like
we're here.
it really is because my God, if I know even like one person I can help where they're not spinning the block 467 times for years on end, trying to figure out what the hell that they're seeing or feeling or knowing. Yeah. I mean, I'm here for it.
Yep,
I got nothing. I literally
I
have
love it.
zero to lose on this. So
But you don't.
hopefully
You don't.
I
And
can
then
help
everybody
somebody
has
else.
that's right. And everybody has things to gain. And that's kind of part of this too, is that as we are walking through things and as we are learning and like, even some of the like the divine counterpart stuff that we shared today is like if you happen to find yourself in that situation, you're gonna be like, what in the hell just
You
happened to me? So maybe somebody's going through it and they just didn't have a name to it. So like
mhm,
us talking about it, they're like, oh my God, that's what's happening to me. Like, what's happening? So also like let us know. Like, we're happy to support with what we know and whatever we can do to help assist you because it can feel overwhelming. And so that's why we're here.
Delulu. That's where I'm at. Like
Yeah.
overwhelm
Yeah.
she's all like
Those are
overwhelming and oh my God. I'm like, no, you're straight crazy. You're like straight
yeah.
delusional trying to grasp on anything that
Yep.
it's like I'm losing my
Yeah.
mind.
It's
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. And again, like what we said from the other episodes, if you're trying to understand anything spiritual, anyways, but that journey specifically, if you're trying to understand that from a headspace, good luck. That's not going to happen because it's not logical. It's so not logical.
No,
Yeah, it's not. So you have to really embrace your heart space to understand what's going on in that. Okay, so that's it. That's all we got for you. We're sending you lots of love and light, and until next time.
and a little fire. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.